Obviously, most of us were pretty young, so he had a real we-can-do spirit that just was fun. And I think it was a very strong, almost palpable feeling of early Vail.
Vail became my third child, and medicine in Vail was my fourth child. And I think most people felt that way.
There were just many, many people who really were involved that, you know, they didn't say much, they just went about their work and did it.
People came here with kind of that pioneer spirit, we can do it, we can make it happen.
We rented a house for a year, which had a big garage in it. And for the first week or two, I saw some patients in that garage.
Because we didn't have a hospital, we didn't have blood, we only had some IV solutions.
You did a lot by the seat of your pants. You got to be a great clinician like the doctors of old.
We would just have to figure it out.
And we did it all. It was, as I said, frontier medicine.
Practical people for demanding times. We had the beginnings of a world-class mountain, but we barely had a town.
The key to surviving up here was the ability to look ahead and say, I think we can take care of this patient here. Or, this patient might get a whole lot sicker. We better send this patient by ambulance now.
Ambulance is a kind word for what we had. We had then a big Cadillac station wagon. You couldn't stand up in it, you had to sort of lean down. It was white, had those big tail fins, we call it the gray goose.
And I would put a patient in the station wagon, and then I'd lay down next to him so I could take the blood pressure and keep the IV going and so on.
Sometimes we had to actually drive the ambulances ourselves down to Denver.
A unique team was coming together, but it was quite clear that the quality of our facilities did not match the ability of the staff.
The clinic in the early days had to get by with what it had.
The clinic at the time was really bare bones, and we knew it. And we wanted to make it as best as we could.
Everybody was on the same page, as working together to make a better hospital, to look and see where the fundraising needed to be.
There were a lot of community members that were very involved, and they had the foresight to really look beyond what was the present time.
The community effort to get the hospital first rate per capita was probably better than any place in the world. People just stepped up. They knew that the hospital was key.
And so the can-do spirit was more than an attitude around the operating table. It flowed over into a dynamic drive to improve ourselves, our capabilities.
I have seen this hospital grow, but I've also seen it kind of outgrow its physical plant. And so I really think that it's becoming difficult for patients to access this facility, and we need a bigger space for a variety of services.
We can always get better. We can build a new hospital and it will be spectacular. And I don't see why that same drive, same we can do spirit still isn't here. I think it is.
40 years after Dr. Steinberg was able to move from seeing patients in his garage to treating them in the first clinic, it's time for another move. And this exciting transition will be more than just a new chapter in the storied development of the little hospital that could.
You know, the community of Vail has always had great ownership in this hospital, and I can never recall a time when we asked and it didn't happen.